And what he talks about is how we all, in a way, have multiple personalities. Um, and I was like, nah, that sounds like crazy. But when he breaks it down, there's an idea that your brain is not one entity. Your brain is more of like a society, a group of people working together to get you through the day, to help you function and grow. And he breaks them down into different categories. We all have what called a manager. A manager is what keeps you organized, what keeps you on time, what keeps you successful. And it's very, very beneficial. It has a very good, important role to play in your life. But sometimes that manager is hypercritical of you or maybe of others. Maybe when you make a mistake, that manager is like, oh, you're so stupid. You can't do anything right. You'll never amount to anything. Why would you say that? Why would you do that? I can't believe you would do that. You messed everything up. And you get hard on yourself. And then we have another part of ourselves called the firemen. The firemen are to put out the fire, obviously. But the problem is they will destroy the house as long as the fire is out. They don't even care. So this part of your brain, this part of you, I should say, your personality, your mind, is important because it tells you to indulge. Every once in a while you gotta eat that chocolate. Every once in a while, take a relaxed day. You deserve it. But sometimes when you're having a real rough day, you're like, forget it, I'm gonna eat the whole fridge. Or you say, forget it, and you run back to your addiction, or you go get drunk, or you have crazy sex with a random person, and you end up digging yourself a bigger hole than you previously were in. Um, and then you have what's called the exiles. The exiles are usually part of you that's creative, that's very sensitive, that tells you, it's not about the hustle and bustle and the rat race of everything. It's important to slow down and be sensitive and to love and to feel. But what happens sometimes is you get too sensitive. Why would that person say that to me? Why does everyone hate me? And then you get so depressed you can't get out of bed. You know what I mean? There's these parts of you that all have good and bad qualities, and it's not your job to condemn them. It's your job to make them all work together. It's your job to get them to stand back every once in a while and get to the root of the problem. Manager, you're being too hypercritical. Firefighters, we don't need, to be drinking right now. We need to solve this problem. Exiles, I know you're hurting, but you need to step back. And you need to get to the root of yourself, which is that little kid, that blank slate. I think the Bible always talks about, how you need to have the heart of a child to be into the kingdom of heaven. Or we need to be like more childlike. And I think that's our true self. When you come into this world, you're just a blank canvas. Before that person hurt you, before your parents, emotionally scarred you, and they throw paint onto this canvas and they paint pictures, they put things on you, people call you stupid, people call you worthless, and they draw this picture on you that you carry around with yourself. But that's not your true self. That child that just wants to be loved, that wants to be accepted, is your true self in your life. And I think it's so important to tell all these other mechanisms that are trying to protect you. You need to tell them, step back and let's get to that child. And I think it's so important to comfort that child, whether you visualize yourself holding that child and be like, it's okay, we're not going to let anyone ever hurt you again. I think a good exercise too is to picture Jesus, coming into your life and holding that child and, protecting him and telling him he's forgiven, that there's nothing wrong with him, that he's created as they should be. We're made in God's image and we're loved by our creator and by the people around us. I think it's just so easy to get in your head and to hurt yourself and do more damage than good. When in reality, you're trying to help yourself, but I think there's you gotta have self leadership in your mind, and that'll give yourself agency, freedom when you can lead yourself into a better direction.